ho, ho, Merry Christmas. Okay, so I'm doing it again. Okay, I know this isn't my regular content. I'm mainly doing this because I grew up in a very small town in northwestern Ontario. This was a very common practice where I grew up. Where I live now, nobody seems to know what these are, and people ask me, my neighbors, my friends. So I'm just demonstrating how to make these ice candles. This is something that I certainly did not invent on my own. This has been around for many years. But it seems like a lot of people don't know how to do this. So I'm just gonna make a very quick, easy video to show you how to make these. And yes, I know it's not my regular content, but life is busy and I can't always do the things that I would like to do. So this is what we're doing today. Okay, so making an ice candle is actually a very simple process. I've had lots of questions about this, so I'm going to do a very quick demonstration. I'm simply rinsing out some dirty buckets here. Depending how many candles you want to make, I'm going to make, what do I got here? 4, I have 8. I'm going to make 8 right now. So you get your 5-gallon pail, or whatever size you want to make, and you simply fill it full of water. Okay, so you simply fill your buckets to your desired level. That's typically the level I like to go with. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you what you want to do. Okay, so now once you have your buckets of water filled, which is obviously pretty simple, you want to take them, put them outside if you live in a climate like I do. Today, right now it is like -9 Celsius, which is about 15 degrees Fahrenheit. It's supposed to get to -21 Celsius tonight, which is about -5 or 6 Fahrenheit. It always varies on depending on the temperature, how long it's going to take for these to freeze. You don't want them to freeze all the way through. You want them to only freeze partially. You kind of have to watch as they're freezing. I will show you that as we go. I'm thinking this will probably take, at those temperatures, roughly about 12 hours, I'm guessing. You can just keep... Okay, so it's the next day. I put my buckets of water outside yesterday evening. What the heck, it was -9 when I put them out there. I think it went to -9 Celsius. I think it went to about -22 Celsius last night. It is currently -19 Celsius. They've been out there approximately 19 to 20 hours. I may have left them out there too long. Let's go have a look and see what they look like. So, I'm not sure how well this is going to show up on a camera. It's pretty hard to see. Ooh, I might have overfroze these. I might have been out here too long in this cold. Let's put these in the sunlight and see what they look like. I'm not 100% sure here what I did because these are really cloudy. Typically you can see where they freeze. You basically want like a thickness about this thick, and then the center still, it'll be frozen on top, but inside you can usually see where it's frozen. Like I say, you want it to be frozen roughly about this thick. The inside's still water. And then the next step is okay, so I think for the temperature, I left these outside too long. That happens. Typically, if they're kind of, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, the bottom's kind of bulged out. If they're bulged out like that, they're usually too frozen. They're still very cloudy. I can't see what they are, so I'm going to let them, I'll see. They may still be salvageable. Might have to start again. One of these, I think it was this one, yeah, actually cracked the bottom. I think that's the first time I ever actually broke a bucket doing this. So yeah, I definitely froze it pretty good. So I have to mark this bucket as a leaker now. But so now basically what you do is you leave it sitting here for a while. I have a heated garage that works pretty good for this, but I've done this in my house, I've done this in my apartment, I've done it in many places. It's harder to do it in bulk when you're in an apartment or something like that. But basically you want to bring them inside and let them, woo! They do that. Let them thaw out for a little bit. And we'll let these guys sit for a little bit, and then I'll demonstrate what you got to do next. Okay, so at this point, these should be ready to come out of here. They've been sitting inside in the heat for roughly an hour. I'm gonna dump these out on the garage floor. Like I said, I have done this before, like in a house. I've done this before when I've lived in an apartment. You're probably not gonna do 8 at a time. You might do 1 or 2 at a time, just because it's, you don't wanna make a mess in the middle of your house. I've actually, when I've gone to dump these, I've also done this just outside in the yard and just like let the water dump in the yard. But when I lived in an apartment, I actually did it in my bathtub, so it actually worked pretty good. I just put these out on my balcony and then dumped them out in my bathtub. So basically you want to get to the point where they've melted, so when you go like this, you move the bucket and the block of ice stays inside there. I can see now these are going to be very, very thick ice candles, which, I mean, that's okay, unless they're like frozen right through. So you simply just slide that guy out of there, like that. You typically should have a hole in the top so it won't freeze all the way through. Actually, these aren't bad. They're thick ones, but they stand up better if it gets a little warm out, or if there's a lot of sun or whatever, they hold up better. You can just dump the water out if you want. I'm gonna make more of these, and seeing I have a water meter, I'm going to recycle as much of this water as I can. So there you go, that's a basic ice candle there. This is a very thick one. But I believe this came from the Dollarama here where I live. And you go to dollar store, Dollar Tree, whatever. Just buy a cheap candle, put that guy in there, and the wind won't blow them out. And they're quite pretty at night. But we'll get to that point later. I like to stick them back in the pail just to transport them outside because they're ice and they're really cold on your fingers, so it's easier to move them like this. So here's a bit of a close-up of the old ice candle. That's what it looks like. This is a nice thickness. These are a little bit thicker than I normally do, but that's fine. They'll work. You can get different. I mean, you make them thinner, you make them thicker. Again, obviously depends how cold it is, how long you leave them outside, and it'll definitely give you different effects with the candles. And you'll find too when they sit in the sun and stuff like that, sometimes they'll go all spider webbed and stuff like that, and just they almost look different from day to day. So it's actually kind of cool how they are. But yeah, those actually turned out pretty well. I froze them pretty good, but they turned out well. And then usually a lot of times what I do is when I put them outside is I'll pour a little extra water in here, just because the bottom of that's curved right now, right? So when you put your candle in there, it wants to tip over. So I put it outside, I usually pour a little water in there so then it freezes a nice flat spot to put your candle on.